You know, one of my favorite parables that Jesus told was the parable of the sower. And it really can break down every single person that's in this world right now. You know, first you have the hard hearts, and this is that hard path, this is that street that the seed is thrown on. This seed is the word of God. And then when this seed is thrown on the hard path and the word of God is thrown on the hard heart, the birds, they come and eat it up right away. And these birds is that atheistic worldview that believe that there is no God. So the word of God has no way to make it into a hard heart, a resistant heart that doesn't see the love of God and can't see the obvious logic of the ways of God and the way that the word is good for the soul and good for the world and good for everybody around us. And then the second um, kind of soil they have is the rocky soil that is very shallow. So when you throw this seed on the rocky soil, it sprouts up real fast, but then it's quickly ate up by the sun. And this is the type of people that hear the word of God and it sounds good at first. And then, you know, they start getting persecution. People start, moving away from them. Once you start trying to live for God, you start noticing that people don't really, want to be around you as much, or people start talking about you because you believe in God, and because of this persecution, you fall away from the word and you go back to the world because you see that the world will accept you more when you act more like the world. So the persecution will bring a lot of people away from coming to God and sticking with him. They won't be loyal to God. And then the third kind of soil is the kind of soil that is ate up by the weeds. When you throw it to the weeds, it's thrown in with thorns and with weeds. So when it starts growing up, it gets caught up by weeds and it won't sprout and become fruitful. So this is the type of people that hear the word and they get into the word and they might even get a little bit deeper in the word. But then they start seeing that it's easier to live a life that is less honest, and it's easier to get money. They get caught up in trying to make more money. They get caught up in all the troubles of life that come from not from that will come from not living a dishonest life. And so there's going to be times as a believer where you're going to want to deny Christ and you're going to want to try to not believe because it's something immoral that you want to do. There's going to be times where you want to maybe do something like have sex outside of marriage, or you want to go and get drunk and get messed up with your friends. And there's going to be times where you might see an opportunity to make more money, but it might not be the right thing to do. And these are going to be the times where you're going to have to ask yourself, do I want to start denying what I've already put my faith in so I can get this extra money, or do I want to deny what I've put my faith in so I can have sex and get this rush and get this pleasure real quick? And this is those thorns that start eating up the word. Once you start compromising your beliefs so you can get what you want, then the more you do this, the more comfortable you'll get into it, and you'll start working up the habit. Soon enough, you will have left the faith. So it's easy to get ate up by the worries of life and by funds and by not being able to do things in a way that might be a faster way of coming up. And this is what the weeds and the thorns eating up the word is. And the third kind of soil is the good fertile soil. And this is the soil that takes the word and then it grows and it starts to bear fruit, and it bears fruit and it continues to grow and grow. And this is the soft heart that is open to God, that is understanding, that understands that when you come to God, it doesn't mean your life's going to be good. It doesn't mean you're not going to lose loved ones. It doesn't mean you're going to be rich. It doesn't mean you're going to be like it doesn't mean you're going to be like King Solomon and live this lavish life. It doesn't mean that God is promising you that all your dreams are going to come true and everything that you want to do, God is His will is in line with yours. It means that you understand that God's will is better than yours, and that you're dedicated to God's will, whatever it may be. And when you're dedicated to His will, and you know that it's better than yours, and you know that the true gift is everlasting life, then you don't get caught up with trying to please people. You don't get caught up in trying to have all your worldly pleasures here and now. You're more in tune with the spiritual realm. You're more in tune with what God really wants, and what God really wants for us is to be prepared for heaven. So the more you understand this and the more you fall in love with His Word, then you'll understand this is the kind of soil God is looking for. And so the same way the Bible tells us that the road to salvation is very narrow and very broad is the gate to hell. It's because when you see these four different types of soil, you can break them down. You have four different kinds of soil. So if you can put everybody in this world into these four different types of soil, then you see that there's only one that is what God is looking for. These will be the people that will be saved. So this would tell you that only about a quarter of the people in the world, and of course this isn't an exact number, but it gives you a good view of the amount of people who are truly living for God and people who are truly believers, and it's a very small amount. Most people will be caught up in being one of these other kinds of soil. They will be that hard soil that rejects, or they'll be the kind that backs away from God when persecution comes. These are the type of people that God said, if you deny me in front of people, then I will deny you in front of the Father. And then also the people who are caught up in the riches. These are the type of people that Jesus said, what good is it for you to gain the whole world and lose your own soul? And then you have, of course, the good soil. These are the people that will hear from God, well done, my good and faithful servant. So what kind of soil are you? Something to think about.